The following is a special presentation from the Office of Adventist Mission.
And Jesus said unto them, I am the bread of life. He that cometh to me shall never hunger. Since Bible times, bread has been a staple part of mankind's diet. Today, that's still true in many parts of the world, including the Southern Asia division. Every day, millions of people in this division eat the popular whole wheat flatbread called chapatis. Join us as we learn more about the countries, people, and challenges of the Southern Asia division, and how we can share the bread of life with them. At first glance, with only 4 countries, the Southern Asia division would seem like a small division. The 4 countries that make up this division are Bhutan, Nepal, the Maldives, and India. In the country of Bhutan, 3/4 of the population is Buddhist. The remaining 25% are Hindu. Hinduism is the main religion in Nepal, with 80% of the population, and Islam is the dominant religion of the Maldives. The country of India, with some 1.2 billion people, dominates the Southern Asia division in both size and population. The sheer numbers alone make it one of the more challenging divisions of Adventist mission. India today is a mix of modern and traditional, rural and urban. Although India's historic ties with Britain are still evident today, as shown by the children's game of cricket, India has a rich and ancient history. Ancient buildings and caves remain as reminders of India's more distant past. This region of the world was the birthplace to Buddhism and Hinduism, religions that are still found in the countries of the Southern Asia division. Every year, thousands of pilgrims flock to the Ganges River, sacred to Hindus. Here they perform ritual baths and launch candlelit offerings across the waters. Although India's economy is growing rapidly, many people still live below the poverty level. Almost half the people in India cannot read and write. Many suffer from disease and poor quality food. Although there are more than 1.4 million Seventh-day Adventists in India, there are still millions of people who have never heard the Adventist message, and there are still large unentered areas. The foundation for the Adventist Church's growth in India was laid more than 100 years ago as Adventist schools were established throughout the region. Thousands of non-Christian students enrolled in Adventist schools where they could study English, one of India's 2 official languages. Here in these schools, they learned more than their lessons. They also learned about a God who loves them. Today, Adventist schools continue to have a reputation for academic excellence and a caring and safe environment for children. student applications continue to exceed enrollment capacities. The Seventh-day Adventist Church operates more than 245 Adventist schools in India, with more than 130,000 students. Less than 10% of the students are Adventist. Many of the students come to the schools seeking a quality education, but they also have an opportunity to learn about Jesus. Several years ago, the Southern Asia Division recognized that many Seventh-day Adventist young people were not able to attend Seventh-day Adventist schools. Some of them weren't attending any school at all. So Dorothy Watts, a former editor of the Mission magazine and wife of former Southern Asia Division President Ron Watts, set up a sponsorship program so Adventists around the world could help send worthy Adventist students to Adventist schools. She called the program Adventist Child India. While programs such as India's Children and organizations like Asian Aid help sponsor students, the schools still struggle to keep pace with the needs. Schools are often crowded and need more classrooms and better facilities so they can help more children have access to a good Christian education. The need for classrooms isn't the only challenge facing Adventists in the Southern Asia Division. Many congregations don't have a decent church building where they can worship. In a land where temples and shrines are such an important part of religious life, Adventist church buildings can shine like beacons of light in a community. On any given day, some 3,000 congregations of believers need a church in which to worship. As quickly as a church is built, it's filled with those wanting to know about Jesus. Other congregations continue to form as evangelism spreads across the division, and more simple church buildings are needed to house them. Often in Southern Asia, a congregation without a church is ridiculed or shunned by their neighbors. But when the congregation completes even a simple church building, sometimes those same people come to hear the message of God's love. The Seventh-day Adventist Church in the Southern Asia Division is growing. Most of this growth has occurred in the past 16 years. In 1995, the division had a membership of fewer than 200,000. Thanks to your support of the World Budget and mission offerings, people in the Southern Asia Division are learning about a God who loves. They are learning that there is hope in Jesus. Soon, new Adventist churches will stand as testimony to the presence of Jesus. People will have a place to worship and somewhere they can invite their friends and neighbors to visit. And students and teachers will have new classrooms, so more students will have an opportunity to learn lessons that will last beyond this lifetime. Please pray for the people of the Southern Asia Division, and please help support this quarter's mission offerings.
Hi, I'm Dan Weber, one of the video producers at the Office of Adventist Mission at the General Conference of Seventh-day Adventists. 4 times a year, I make a trip with one of these cameras, and we go out around the world, and we see the life of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and we share these exciting mission stories with you here on this TV show. I want to share with you another way that you can take these mission stories and share them with your family and friends. It's called the Adventist Mission DVD. Every quarter, this DVD is sent free of charge to churches in North America. If your church isn't using it, ask your pastor or your Sabbath school superintendent if they will use it. The second way that you can get this DVD is by subscribing to it. It only costs $10 a year, and that pays for the shipping. Go to the website that you see on the screen or call the phone number that you see and subscribe, and every quarter this DVD will get sent to your house. I want to thank you for your prayers and your support of Adventist Mission through the years.
today we really do live in a global village. In our neighborhoods, in the stores, in public transportation, we meet people who come from different religious backgrounds. How should we who come from Christian backgrounds even begin to relate to these people? What should we know? How can we build bridges? I'd like you to watch this segment which shows how we can begin building bridges with Hindus. In North America alone, there are about as many Hindus as Episcopalians, but many of us don't even know how to start. Let's watch this clip.
Hinduism. Knowledge, duty, and devotion. Of the 900 million Hindus worldwide, more than 800 million live in the country of India. No one is sure of the exact number of divinities Hindus worship, but the most well-known are Brahman, Vishnu, and Shiva. Hindus believe that the soul is trapped in a cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, which can only be escaped through knowledge, devotion, or discipline. Hinduism is the most eclectic and syncretistic, or most accepting and inclusive of all the major world religions.
Dr. Victor Sam, Hindus are everywhere in the world. There's barely anywhere you can go without really meeting a Hindu. Could you help our viewers, when they meet a Hindu, how would they greet them? How to connect with them?
When you meet a Hindu, you show the respect to him.
Respect. So that's a very important value in Hinduism, right?
Yeah. In general understanding, when you meet a person of the other religion, you might think that religion is inferior, that man is inferior. And to break down that, you respect the person, no matter what religion he follows.
Now, for a Hindu, how do you show respect?
To show respect, I say namaste to him.
Namaste, what does it mean?
Namaste means I am respecting you.
Oh, so then respect is really a core value then, therefore,
Yes.
in Hinduism. But do you only say namaste to human beings, or do you say to God? What is the connection? Could you help us?
It has a dual meaning.
A dual
when
meaning?
you say namaste, I am respecting God in you.
Oh, I see. So when you say namaste to a person, you are saying, I respect God in you.
And the second meaning is namaste is used to God also in worshipping Him.
In worshipping, oh.
So to worship God, you say namaste. To respect human being, you say namaste.
Now, I guess this must be connected to the belief in Hinduism that the soul, Atman, is connected to Brahman, that is divinity. Now, what else would you tell us that helps to really connect with these people?
Hindus value the married life, family life. And they have greater connections in their family. Once they are married forever.
I see. So will I just go to a Hindu home? How does it function?
And when you go to a Hindu home as a Christian, you have to explain to them through your behavior, through your approach, that you respect the family life.
I see. That you respect family. Okay.
Life.
Now, what is it that really a Hindu will abhor or avoid? What should I or your viewers avoid in connecting with Hindus so that they will not be shocked or, repulsed? What would you say?
One word I would like to use here, exclusivism. Generally, they think Christians are exclusivists, and they think God belongs to them, religion belongs to them, and all other religions don't come under their wings. So that point we have to make it very clear to them. We are not exclusivists. We wanted to follow the inclusivist ideas, and we want everybody to understand. We want everybody is created by God, and we are one family.
Yeah. Of course, it is possible to respect people without necessarily validating their religion.
Yes.
So probably by respecting Hindus as people,
Yes.
You respect the person who is a Hindu.
Yes.
Then of course there's some connection. Now, what is it then that I should avoid doing practically?
Practically,
I meet a Hindu, there's something if I do, it may be shocking to him. What is that?
when you meet any Hindu, if you wanted to enter into his home, first you have to leave your shoes outside.
Shoes outside. Oh, so it would be shocking if I enter a home without taking off my shoes, right?
And they do not like it.
Okay.
They feel that you are disrespecting their custom. This is a custom. And Hinduism is associated with the customs. Customs and traditions of Hinduism are inseparable from their spiritual life. So this is part of it. So this is one thing, when you visit any Hindu's home, you leave your shoes outside and walk inside. And immediately he thinks he is following our custom.
I see. So Hindu is really a way of life, then, where there's an integration of the spiritual, religious aspect to also the family, local, cultural aspect also. Now, is this connected also to this idea of respect still? Why would I have to take off my shoes? What does it mean?
And you are entering into somebody's home to respect him, and that tells that you really respect that person by doing this.
Is it also a gesture of humility, like the namaste that you mentioned earlier?
It is part of worship.
It is part of worship.
Yes.
Okay, so it is a sign of humility then also, right?
Yes.
So basically humility then is really one of the core values of Hinduism.
Yes.
When you greet someone, you're bowing to the person, saying you are above me, right? Is that so? And okay, I see. And then the same thing for the shoes.
Yes.
You're taking them off as if you are in a sacred space.
Yes.
What else would you tell us that could be helpful as we connect with Hindus?
And Hindus will always respect somebody who goes to them with wisdom.
With wisdom?
Wisdom. A practical knowledge, what you have experienced in your life.
Practical knowledge.
Yeah, what you have experienced in your life, not a superficial knowledge.
I see.
So Gandhi said once, don't preach Jesus Christ of history. Teach people that you are a reflection of his character.
I see. So character is really important. What they see, that counts very much. Well, thank you very much for those introductory words that can help us at least relate, remembering the idea of respect, remembering the idea of humility, of course, and of course character and then wisdom, as you mentioned. Well, thank you very much, Dr. Victor Sam.
You're welcome.
And thank you for your leadership also in the Center for Hindu Study, the Global Mission Study Centers, Hindu Study Centers. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Welcome.
The clip we just watched came from the Understanding World Religions DVD, and is my prayer that each one of us will feel called to share our faith with people who come from different backgrounds, from different religions, and that God will give us the wisdom to do it in a way that will attract people to Jesus.
Today, more than 1 billion people call India home. It's the second most populated country in the world behind China, and it's growing rapidly. For more than 100 years, the Seventh-day Adventist Church has been working in this vast country by finding a foothold in the educational system. Today, more than ever, we need to keep the mission of the Seventh-day Adventist Church spreading in India. There are literally thousands of different jobs across India. Memories of the social barriers in the caste system can still be heard. Seventh-day Adventist schools across the country have worked for more than 100 years to break these barriers down.
Ever since we started the school system, we introduced the work program. And there are students who would refuse to do certain types of manual work. Agriculture, yes, fine. I wouldn't mind being involved in growing plants, growing vegetables. That's a very dignified work. But sweep the hostel, clean the toilet, do some other kind of work. No, that's not mine. That's menial. That's not for my status in the community. So this has been the division, you know. But Adventist system has somehow broken this in our schools. Work, any work, is God's gift to us. God has given us gift of work. Take care of the earth. Be stewards of the earth. So that philosophy that whatever you do, you are a steward of something. Whenever a student goes through that manual labor, he becomes more mature, more responsible, and ready to take on the world when he leaves the school.
Each day, after classes are finished, each student is assigned a job on the school campus. This focus on strong work ethic has made Lasalgaon School in central India a desirable location for parents to send their children.
The shortcoming of the school is we have insufficient classrooms. We have very big playground, but we don't have science labs. We don't have physics, chemistry and biology separate labs, which is an essential part of a growing school.
Lasalgaon is not the only school that is overflowing with students. Farther south is one of the oldest Seventh-day Adventist schools in the country, the James Memorial School. This school, like most in India, is a mission school. The majority of students who attend are not Christian when they begin their education.
If you train up the child in the early age, when the life is formed in a very concrete faith, and we teach Bible here, we teach them stories from Bible, so they are attracted and they will get converted. Even in the boarding also, every year we used to have baptisms, children accepting Jesus.
This culture of excellence is attracting families who want the very best for their children.
Now the school is having more than 900 enrollment. Actually, the facilities what we have at present is to accommodate only 500 to 600 students. At present, we are having more than 300. And coming years, we may get more students. So we need classrooms.
Space is not the only challenge for the school system. Most Seventh-day Adventist schools in India are affiliated with the Indian Council of Secondary Education. This accrediting body takes special care to administer tests to Adventist schools on Sunday. Currently, the Kottarakara Adventist School in the state of Kerala is accredited by the Indian government. Recently, the school was told by the government to hold a crucial test on Saturday.
They get admission for colleges based on the result, and therefore it is very crucial, very determinant for their future life. One cannot think of not attempting their examination if they want to pursue their study further.
Dr. John made an appointment with the Minister of Education for his district and asked that an accommodation be made for his school so that his students could stay true to their faith and not take the exam during Sabbath hours.
He said, I am also a Christian, I would write an exam on Sabbath, or I would do anything on Saturday. I said, let's not debate on that matter, because your faith is different, my faith is different. I wouldn't do that, and my students won't do that. And therefore, please make it possible for my children to write the exam, make some alternate arrangement.
Eventually, with much hard work, Dr. John convinced the court to give his students religious freedom and take their exam after Sabbath hours. Currently, Kotarakara facilities will not pass inspection to become a member of the non-governmental council. Member schools must have adequate classroom space for each student, and this school has far outgrown its current buildings. Space is a major problem for all of the more than 235 Adventist schools in India. Because of your financial support of the 13th Sabbath offerings, new classroom blocks will be constructed on all 3 of these school campuses. Across these 3 projects, more than 40 new classrooms will be built as the work in India continues to grow. In 1978, a small outreach meeting was held below the branches of this remote rubber wood forest in central India. After the meetings, many of the new members joined together and built this mud and thatched church to meet in.
I have been at the church for more than 30 years now. We have been fasting and praying that a new church would be built to hold our members.
For many years, the members have been working to keep this small church from falling apart with time. These members don't have the resources to build a second, larger church to hold their growing congregation.
My husband and I have been praying for many years that a new building may come to our location. He died earlier this year, but just before, we found out a new church was to be built. He was so happy.
Because of your financial support of the World Budget and mission offerings, a new sheet metal church building will be constructed in the small village of Perayam. New church buildings like this will also be built at 7 other sites across India. The mission of the Seventh-day Adventist Church to lead people to Jesus can only continue in a country as vast as India with your prayers, your financial support, and the power of the Holy Spirit. To find out more, please visit adventistmission.org.